It's an alien.
Are we live?
Not yet.
God, you all have creepy voices.
Dude, I was like, no, not the clownfish babies.
All right, you're on the delay now. You're live on YouTube.
Oh.
All right.
All right.
I was like, what?
We're back.
We are back.
Hold on.
Nope.
Hold on.
You're live on YouTube.
YouTube, hello.
Facebook is saying preview. Hold on.
Hold on. We're live on YouTube, Facebook. Here we go.
It's going.
Going.
Here
Dun,
it is.
dun, dun.
There you go.
We are live.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hey.
Technical difficulties have been resolved.
I think.
Thank
Yes.
you for your patience.
Yes.
But we got Mike with Aquapros
Hey, man.
joining us here on the screen.
And his little friend, I see.
Listen, we got
Yes,
some
your alien friend.
Alien friend, is it?
Whoa, Mike, what is happening?
Oh my goodness.
We got a lot of fun stuff to do today, but Rich, Dean, Jess, good to see you.
Good to
Yeah.
see you. Thanks for joining.
So, all
I'm
right,
glad
Dean,
to be here.
Yes.
you gotta run.
Oh,
You gotta run
go
them
ahead.
through the rigmarole.
Oh, sorry. I don't even know what's happening. Listen, so for everybody just joining us, we had to reset the stream with technical difficulties. No worries.
Restart.
Share and comment Ancient Gardens to win a $500 gift card to Waterbox Aquariums that will be drawn here in literally the next 10 minutes. Ancient Gardens, everybody. So
Yes,
share
yes,
and comment
yes.
Ancient Gardens, Facebook and YouTube. $500 to the winner.
We got a lot of freshwater people that have been waiting all day for this.
Yes.
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 And this is like the coolest tank that I've ever seen done. So
It
I'm really
is
excited to be able to show
so
this to
awesome.
people and actually have a chance to talk to you. So this is
Yes.
going to be really awesome.
So, Mike, tell us, you've got our biggest Clear Pro tank, freshwater, behind you, and it looks, from this angle here, it looks incredible.
yeah, it doesn't even look real. It does not look real.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thanks. Let me get my pet alien out of the way here,
Yeah.
so you can see a little bit better. And then I don't know. Let's see if this works.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There
That's
you
pretty
go.
cool.
There you go. Look at that. So,
It's tough to see, but yeah. Well, thanks. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. It was, I mean, thank you for being a sponsor of the channel and affording me to be able to do this. You know.
yeah. That's some inspiration there, Mike. I mean, you know, for somebody that wanting to get into the freshwater hobby or, you know, the freshwater planted tank, I mean, that tank right there is an inspiration.
Yeah, that's amazing. Mike, tell us a little bit about setting that thing up. You know, from the
Yeah, so I mean, I'll go over it as quickly as possible here. But if anybody is like super interested and wants to see all the intimate ins and outs of this whole thing, I have a playlist on my channel. It's titled Ancient Gardens, and it starts off with the actual delivery of the tank. So you get to see kind of what that's like, having a semi truck show up at your house with this huge aquarium. That's kind of crazy,
Yeah.
a little different. And then it goes, you know, everything. So the placement of the tank, getting the stand put together, to, you know, the intricate building of all the components in the tank, which I'll talk about here in just a second. And so they can go check that out if they want to know more. But just to go over it really quickly, it's what we refer to in the planted tank hobby as a high-tech tank. So we're using pretty strong lights. We're adding carbon dioxide as a food source for the plants, and we're trying basically as hard as we can to make it look good. Okay, so that's what we're doing here with this tank. And you know, just to go over it really quickly, it's a plant substrate. I use the Brightwell substrates, and then we have Dragonstone as the main stone that you see these trees kind of sitting on, right? I'll get to that in a second, but this is a common rock in the plant hobby that people use a lot. And then the trees, that's the main thing that you're obviously seeing, are actually these are hand-built bonsai trees. They're not real dead bonsai trees, but they look super realistic, right?
Those are cool.
So
Very
yeah,
cool.
I didn't even know that. I thought that they were real.
I thought that was
I've
a
seen
dead
it in the
bonsai
shows.
tree.
I thought it was a dead bonsai. All right.
Yeah.
no, it's crazy how realistic these things look. And so how I got them super green was by using a plant called Monte Carlo. I have a little pot of it right here, you guys
Oh.
can see. And it just kind of, you don't need to have it in a substrate, which is why I decided to use it. And just
That's
by
really
having
cool.
CO2, adding fertilizers, this plant grows, it kind of creeps like a vine. And that's how I got the tree effect, basically.
Wow, wow. So, Mike, like for the viewers that are watching, that piece of wood that you showed us, how a price comparison, does that compare to a real dead bonsai tree? Is it like close to the same price? Is it half the price? Do you know?
Can you
Like,
get a
Yeah.
dead bonsai tree?
I don't even know if there's a market for dead bonsai trees. I certainly when I knew I wanted to do this, I looked into that, and I originally, before I started using this material, I thought that these were actual dead bonsai trees, but it
Oh.
turns out I don't think any of them actually are, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But
that's
no,
very
I mean they're a spendy component. As I'm sure people that are watching that are in the saltwater hobby, is that certain things can be really expensive, and this is more of a spendy feature to get. But if you have a small tank, you can kind of make anything happen and stay within a budget, which I think is important to always keep in mind.
Yes, no, totally agree. So also, I saw a video that popped up on YouTube that you added a bunch of fish to your aquarium. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So that was kind of recent. That was actually a few weeks ago, and that was my kind of like semi-viral video that I was mentioning to you guys earlier before the stream started. People really seemed to like that one. We added 300 chili raspberries. So
Whoa.
those are, I don't know if anybody can see those.
See a little
In
swim
the-
around in there.
They're kind of up at the top there. They're what's called a nano fish, so they're a very, very small fish. None of them are going to be longer than a quarter, very thin. But I felt like we needed to use a small fish to maintain the scale of the
Yeah.
aquarium, right?
Right.
Because if we threw in some big rainbow fish, that might look pretty cool, because rainbow fish are very colorful and they always look good. But then it would kind of be confusing looking at the tank, right? The fish then would take the top spot as the thing that draws you in, whereas I want the thing that draws you in to be the landscape. So,
Right.
Off
As
their
far as the
perspective.
scale, right?
Yeah.
So the fish in
Right.
proportion to the plants, people need to think about that when they're doing, their scape. It's the ratio there to make it look, a certain way.
Yeah, anyone who hasn't seen it has got to check out some of the videos as you built this along, because under all that greenery that you see now, it was really cool seeing you use the bonsai and the rock, and also you had like little
Vines and
vines
ropes.
going across.
Yeah, so
and,
intricate.
It was really cool, and it looks so beautiful and grown in now, but the work that got put into just getting that set up to even allow the greenery to grow in was really intensive. What you did with that system, very eye-opening to what can go into
Yeah.
it.
So,
It really was.
so Mike, how long does it take from the time that you decided to start putting, this tank together to the time we get today, that grow out period to get it to look like that? How long is that? Is that a couple weeks? Is it a couple months?
So this tank has been planted and set up for around 6 months.
Okay.
I want to say close to that. If you go in, and again, like if you watch any of, I think I have like 6 videos of the progression of the tank so far, you can see just how big of what it looked like as soon as we planted it. It looked nowhere near, obviously,
No.
what
Right.
it looked like. The Monte Carlo has grown a tremendous amount, and it's even getting to the point now where it's you can't see things like the vines that connect the trees because it's grown out so much. So those are good things and bad things depending on how you want the scape to look. But like planting the tank is always, I try and always get it done in one day. But before that, building out the hardscape, I try and take my time and take as long as possible. Right, obviously, because I'm filming this and putting it on the internet, like I have a time constraint there where I want to get videos out. But I can take anywhere from usually 2 days to a week, maybe even longer on a hardscape. It just depends on what it's taking. I think this one, I spent more than a few days kind of tweaking it and getting things right. You don't see that in the video because it's all condensed into one thing. But yeah, it can take some time.
I'm just curious, like, how did Aquapros get started? Like, what got you to start this? How long have you been doing all of this? And, you know, what was your inspiration to become Aquapros, really?
Yeah. So, I mean, back in, I want to say it was like 2009, 2010, was when I really started to get into this hobby, like full steam.
Yeah.
And back then, the internet wasn't what it was like
No.
today. I mean, if you wanted to learn about any kind of niche hobby, there wasn't that much content on YouTube in the first place. And so there was a few people that, you know, got started at the very beginning, but it was still very much like go to forums and learn things that way, because that was kind of the original social media for people with niche hobbies like fish keeping, right?
Yeah.
And so I went through, you know, a few years of like heavy learning at the beginning, and all of it was on forums. And I thought, you know, I just got to a point where I would have loved to see certain content in a little bit of an easier to access format, aka YouTube. And so I just kind of got to the point where I was like, okay, I feel confident about this. Now let's try and make this content, the things that I've learned, put it into a video form that's easier for people to learn, and then also certain concepts that I was searching for and not finding what I thought was the best way to explain things. And so, you know, now we're here.
Yeah.
How many followers do you have, you were saying?
Yeah, how many
Like, it's
followers do you
crazy.
have on YouTube right now?
Just over like 250,000. Now we hit.
Wow.
200,000.
Listen, 250,000 followers on YouTube following Aquapros, everybody.
Did you even think that was like a possibility or a thing? Like, all right, 10
Listen.
years ago, I didn't think that was a thing, that it was actually possible when the
Yeah.
internet came around, that like,
That's awesome.
you've got such a big following
Dude,
and
that
all
is
these videos and
tremendous.
stuff.
That's tremendous. That gives me great hope.
Crazy.
I'm going to be honest with you, Mike. It gives me great hope for the industry itself that
Still growing.
that the hobby is still growing, right? We're trying to bring people into the
Yeah.
hobby. We're trying to inspire them, and your channel helps that whole process. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Of getting people in and just getting excited, man. I mean, that's why Waterbox supports you, because it's like, man, this is great. This is what we're all trying to do, man. Just trying to grow the industry.
Yeah.
So, wow,
Well,
wow, fantastic. So,
I appreciate it. Thank you. Guys.
yeah. So let me ask this, Mike. So, you know, where do you go from here, right? So you got this tank. It's looking fantastic. You know, you don't just go, I'm gonna break it all down and start over. Are you gonna, or maybe
Do
you
you?
will, or maybe you do.
I don't know.
You know, do you say, well, I'm gonna start something else?
Maybe you need 2 clear pros.
Maybe you need another Clear Pro.
Snap. Something in the works, huh?
I mean, if you three want to come help me move it downstairs, then I'll take another one.
Yeah.
On site at Aquapros. That could be our next trip,
listen,
you know?
I'm a big fan of the aliens. I know you had the alien there. Maybe you do like an alien-themed build.
Yeah, I mean, I maybe might have something kind of similar to that in the works.
Oh,
Ah.
snap!
Did we just
Was
get a
that a
little
teaser?
leak?
Was
Did
that,
we
was
just
that
happen?
a Easter egg?
Oh, maybe a little
man.
Easter egg.
No,
Listen.
I think, you know, and I wanted to touch on that. You know, like I've kind of historically now done some themed tanks. I did a desert tank where we did like some weird kind of alien theme stuff, or you know, desert themed stuff, and the theme stuff isn't for everybody, right? But I think it's kind of like a bridge to other people in the hobby, right? Because there's hobbyists, there's diehard hobbyists that are like, that's their thing, but there's also like much more casual aquarium people, right? Or people that they know they really like aquariums, but they don't. They need one more connection to make before they like jump in. So
Correct.
that's kind of that plays a role in what I do and what I want to do, because I think I got some data recently that suggested that there was 16 million home aquariums
Whoa.
in the United
Wow.
States. So,
Whoa, 16
you
million.
know,
In the United States, huh?
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, we might have to get a bigger resort, Rich, for
Yeah,
the reunion.
yeah.
16
You know what's
million
interesting?
decide to show up.
Mike, is that Jacob says he started just a year ago after seeing your videos.
oh no,
Yes.
what? See, that's what I love. That's the kind of stuff that me as a YouTube creator or you know, whatever you want to call me, like hearing that kind of stuff, meeting people, you know, also when we go to Aquashella or AE or whatever convention, meeting people, they share their story of how they found us as internet people, like that's the best part of all of this.
We had
for
quite
me,
a few people at Aquashella Chicago that came up to us and said that they learned about Waterbox or are starting a freshwater tank because of watching your videos. So we heard that a lot at Aquashella, actually. So you're definitely making an impact on the hobby and the industry, and especially I think knowledge towards freshwater and what you can really do with it.
No, totally. Wow. So you also do smaller stuff, right? I mean, you do smaller tanks as well.
Yeah, I have more than a few smaller tanks upstairs. I try and do my bigger stuff down here because it's just easier to change water. So upstairs in my office, I'm not anywhere near a sink, so all the water changes are like in buckets and then bring them up, and it's kind of a nightmare. But the nano tank hobby, I think, is probably like the best starting point for a beginner, right? From a budget perspective, and then just there's still so many possibilities that you can do with a small tank, right? If you want to get into shrimp, maybe you've had fish for a while, but you want to try shrimp, you don't need to go and get like a 40, 50, 60, 100-gallon tank to do that. Just, get one of the small 6-gallon clear tanks.
Yeah.
And there you go. That's a perfect little shrimp tank.
Exactly. Yeah.
I did have 2 questions that people wanted to ask. The one person is, what substrate are you using? I know you mentioned it possibly earlier, what substrate you're using in that tank.
Yeah, so this is it's made by Brightwell, and it's the Rio Cafe XF. So that's the brown version, and it's the extra small granules. Okay. And pro tip is mix different granule sizes together, same color, but different granule sizes, and it can kind of help to give it a little bit of a cooler look.
Nice.
But that's what I use. Yeah.
And then someone's asking what you keep your parameters at, or do you say that in your videos or listed anywhere of what you keep your tank running at?
Yeah, so I'm super fortunate in that my tap water is relatively soft. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons why a lot of new people have troubles with keeping a successful aquariums, because they have super hard water. So I'm very, very fortunate to have around 7 out of the tap for pH, and then my water hardness parameters, my GH and my KH, are also very, fairly low. They're less than 100 ppms for calcium, magnesium, and then my carbonates. And so that's kind of, most freshwater plants seem to kind of prefer that because their natural environment is often in softer conditions like that. And then, I think that's,
awesome.
I'm lucky. I'm very lucky.
Yeah, no, the other question I had is, how often, are you doing a water change once a month on this thing? Is it every other week? How often are you maintaining a tank like that?
Yeah, so in my experience, the bigger the tank, the less work you typically have to do. There's a lot of factors that can make that not true. But like, for example, with this tank, I think it's roughly 20% of the water. In the beginning, I changed a little bit more, maybe once a week. But now it's, I changed 20% of the water about, maybe once a month. But really, I don't even have to do that. It could be 2-3 months with no water change, and everything's going to be fine because the tank is so established and where it needs to be. So
that's
wow,
awesome.
that's
Very
beautiful,
nice.
man. It's like it's all just working together, man. It's just like this nice balance. It just
the only maintenance that you really have to do is, for a while in this tank, I had some string algae going for one reason or the other. I just threw in, spoiler alert, I threw in like 40 Amano shrimp, and that string algae is gone. So now I'm spending even less time in the tank taking care of those issues. So there's always workarounds.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Wow, it's just incredible.
Yeah, Mike's opened up a whole different, like, being a saltwater aquarium background. What he does is completely open up my eyes in regards to freshwater.
It's really, really nice. It's just such a total game changer. So, Mike, during the stream, we told everybody to share and comment Ancient Gardens to win a $500 gift card to Waterbox Aquariums.
Yep. Get yourself a Waterbox.
We have a winner picked.
We do.
So it's time to announce the winner.
No commercial. All right, drum roll. Ready?
Right.
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
Winner is.
And the winner is Sean Vest, Indianapolis, Indiana.
Woo, Sean!
Congratulations, Sean.
Ah.
500 bucks.
Congratulations, Sean.
$500.
That is a nice water box
At
right
the
there.
Waterbox Aquariums store.
Contact support at waterboxaquariums.com and they'll get you all set up.
Yes.
I would
and-
use that today.
Dude, I would use it today because, once again, everybody, 15% off freshwater tanks. That tank that you see behind him, man, is on sale.
15% off.
15%
A few people
off.
are kind of
That's
upset
a-
that we didn't do after the video.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
sorry, but technical issues
After the
made
video.
it to where we had to simplify, but
Yeah, but our final stream, everybody, is right around the corner, the big
threw
grand
for a loop.
finale.
You did. They're like, whoa, hold on.
But Mike, thank you so much from Aquapros. Definitely go follow him, subscribe to his channel on YouTube.
Yes,
you guys,
please
literally, you won't regret it. 250,000 people are following him, and it's tremendous. So,
Yes, thank you, Michael.
thank you so much, Mike, for being on our show today. Wow,
Thank you.
this is
Thank you.
awesome. This is awesome. So, guys, the grand finale
7:15.
at 7:15.
Yeah, we're going to push it back by 15 minutes just
Yes.
due to the fact of us being behind on this stream. So last minute right now, go get your email in for the final drawing of the
Go
$10
get your
gift
email
card.
in, yes.
7:15, we'll be back for our final episode of Blue
Grand
Friday.
finale. Everybody's coming on. It's going to be
We
crazy.
got a new build. We got a build we're going to do. It's going to be amazing. You've got to tune in. Winner to be announced. We'll
Yes.
see you then.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you,
Thank
Michael.
you.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
everyone.